All right, so we're diving deep today, ready to explore the world of blockchain.
Oh, yeah.
I know, it can be kind of confusing sometimes.
It definitely can.
But before you think this is just another Bitcoin breakdown, let me assure you, our sources this time, they paint a much broader picture. We're talking about blockchain's potential in healthcare, supply chains, even voting.
Wow.
Yeah, really. Plus, we'll try to get into the minds of those crypto traders.
Oh, yeah.
The ones who are so eager for everyone to join the party, so to speak.
I think everyone wants to understand what's going on in their heads.
Right, exactly.
What motivates them.
Yeah, it's truly remarkable how blockchain is evolving.
It really is. And it's so easy to just get swept up in all the cryptocurrency hype.
Absolutely.
But the implications of this technology, they go way beyond just that.
Yeah, let's start with that. One of the things that really came through in the source material was this idea that blockchain, it's not just about Bitcoin. I mean, it's being explored in all sorts of industries, like take supply chain management, for example. With blockchain, we could actually track a product's entire journey from the factory floor all the way to the store shelf.
Wow.
And verify its authenticity at every single step of the way.
That's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Think about the impact on industries dealing with all those counterfeit goods,
Right.
like high-end fashion or pharmaceuticals.
It really matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
That's that's life or death stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, healthcare is another one.
Oh, absolutely.
With blockchain, all your medical records, they can be securely stored and accessed by authorized individuals anywhere in the world.
That would be amazing.
I know, no more carrying around those stacks of paperwork or struggling to share your medical history when you're traveling.
Yeah, when you go to a new doctor,
Exactly.
you have to fill out all that paperwork again.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
It's ridiculous.
It would streamline everything for both patients and healthcare providers.
Sure.
So we're talking about increased transparency, security, and efficiency.
Absolutely.
It's really intriguing.
It is.
What about you? Which of these applications really jumps out at you?
Well, personally, I'm really fascinated by the idea of using blockchain for tamper-proof elections.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, I think the ability to create a record of votes that can't be changed, that could revolutionize how we think about democracy.
I know, right? It's like the holy grail of voting security.
Absolutely.
But for any of these applications to really become mainstream, blockchain has to overcome a pretty significant hurdle,
Yeah,
and that's speed.
that's right.
You know, the source material mentioned that Bitcoin, which is, the most well-known blockchain out there,
Yeah.
it can only handle about 7 transactions per second.
It's not a lot.
It's not a lot, is it? And Ethereum, which is supposed to be better, it can only process around 30 per second.
Right.
But then you compare that to something like Visa,
Yeah.
which can process over 24,000 transactions per second.
It's mind-boggling.
The difference is just staggering.
It is.
It really makes you wonder how blockchain can realistically compete with the systems we already have in place.
It does, yeah. And that's the big challenge that developers are working on.
Okay, so how are they trying to tackle that?
Well, there are a few different approaches. One is something called Layer 2 scaling solution.
Okay, layer 2 scaling solutions, what is that?
So think of it this way,
Okay.
like adding express lanes to a highway.
Okay.
You're making things more efficient.
Right.
So the Lightning Network for Bitcoin and rollups for Ethereum, those are good examples.
Okay.
They handle these smaller transactions off the main blockchain.
So it's like a separate, faster lane
Exactly.
for those little transactions.
Yes, and that frees up space on the main blockchain for the larger, more complex ones.
Okay, so it's about creating more efficient pathways for all those transactions to flow through.
That's it.
Makes sense. But what about sharding? I saw that mentioned as a potential solution.
Sharding, yeah, that's another really interesting approach.
Yeah, tell me more.
So it involves basically dividing the blockchain into these smaller, more manageable pieces.
Okay.
And they're called shards.
The shards.
And each shard can process transactions independently,
Oh, okay.
parallel to the other shards.
So it's like, I don't know, like taking a pizza
Yes.
and slicing it up so
Exactly.
that everyone can have a slice at the same time
That's a great analogy.
instead of one person trying to eat the whole thing.
Exactly, because if you have one massive blockchain trying to handle everything,
Right.
it gets bogged down.
It's going to be slow. So
Exactly.
if you have multiple smaller ones working together,
It just speeds up the whole process.
that seems so much more efficient.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's the shift toward more efficient consensus mechanisms. So that's, the way that the network agrees on the validity of transactions. And a great example of that is Ethereum's move to proof of stake, or PS.
PS. Okay.
And that's a way less energy-intensive alternative
Okay.
to the traditional proof of work mechanism, which uses a lot of energy.
So it's more environmentally friendly.
Exactly. It's better for the planet.
It seems like these advancements are really crucial.
They are.
If blockchain's going to have a future, it needs to be faster, more efficient, and better for the environment
Absolutely.
if it's really going to gain widespread adoption.
For sure.
But let's shift gears for a moment
Okay.
and talk about the world of crypto trading,
All right.
because our sources indicate that there are some very specific reasons why traders
Yeah.
are so keen on getting everyone involved.
They really want everyone to join the party.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
So what's the deal? Why are they so eager?
Well, one of the key factors is market liquidity.
Market liquidity.
Yeah. Basically, the more investors there are, the more trading activity there is.
Okay.
And generally speaking, that leads to more stable prices.
Okay, so it's like the more people in the pool,
Exactly.
the less choppy the water is.
That's a good way to put it.
So a larger, more active market
Right.
is less susceptible to those wild price swings.
Exactly. Which is good for everyone.
Okay, so more participants equals a more stable ecosystem.
Precisely.
Interesting. The source material also mentioned institutional adoption.
Oh, yeah.
How does that fit into all of this?
Well, so when you have big players like JP Morgan, Tesla, MicroStrategy,
The big names.
yeah, when they enter the crypto space, it kind of gives the whole market a sense of legitimacy.
Okay.
It attracts those more traditional investors.
Who might have been a little wary before.
Exactly. So it's all about bringing more people into the fold.
It's fascinating how these different factors all come together to shape the whole narrative around crypto trading.
For sure.
And then there's this whole idea of DeFi, decentralized finance.
DeFi.
It seems like that's really gaining traction.
It is. It's really interesting.
So what exactly is DeFi?
So DeFi is essentially about building financial applications on blockchain networks.
Okay.
So it opens up all these opportunities for lending, borrowing, earning interest,
Okay.
but without relying on those traditional middlemen
Like banks.
like banks. Exactly.
So it's like creating a whole parallel financial system
It is, and it's open and accessible to anyone.
with an internet connection.
That's right. You don't need to go through the traditional gatekeepers.
That's a really powerful concept,
It is.
especially for people who might not have access to traditional banking services.
Absolutely. It's all about democratizing finance.
But amidst all this excitement, the source material does also offer a word of caution
Right.
about the speculative nature of crypto.
Yeah. It's important to remember that.
So what are some of the risks people should be aware of?
Well, cryptocurrencies, they're still very volatile.
Okay.
The market can be manipulated. And there are things like pump and dump schemes.
What are those?
So that's where groups artificially inflate prices to make a quick profit, and then they just crash the market.
Oh, so they're kind of like pumping up the balloon
Exactly.
and then letting it go.
And everyone else is left holding the bag.
So it's buyer beware.
It really is. It's crucial to do your research and approach crypto with, a healthy dose of skepticism.
Informed decision-making is key.
Absolutely.
It's easy to get caught up in the hype.
It is, but it's important to understand the risks involved.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into blockchain, let's just take a moment to recap the key takeaways.
Okay.
First of all, it's clear that blockchain is so much more than just cryptocurrency.
It really is.
It has the potential to revolutionize so many industries,
Countless industries.
offering increased transparency, security, and efficiency.
Absolutely.
But speed and scalability, those are still major hurdles.
Yes, they need to be addressed.
If we want to see widespread adoption,
For sure.
it's an exciting landscape, though,
It is. It's full of possibilities.
even if it is a bit complex.
It is, for sure.
So, as we leave you with this deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
we want to leave you with a question to ponder.
Okay.
What potential applications of blockchain excite you the most?
Mm-hmm.
And what concerns do you have about its future?
It's something to think about.
It is. This technology is definitely worth keeping an eye on.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next.
Oh yeah, this is just the beginning.
I think so.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.